So if it like you are the better judge whether you have the analytical ability or not. There are people who are analytical, there are people who are not analytical, right? So to test it, you can just look for free analytical test online, and that would help you to decide whether you have it or not, right? Otherwise, just keep practicing on those questions, and you'll be able to sharpen your skills. Great, guys. So I think it's time, so we can start the session now. I'm assuming all of you are here. Any question, anybody, anything that you want to say before we start? Great. So, before we actually jump on to the workshop, I'm assuming all of you are here. Can you just say yes in the chat section? Yes, we are ready to start. Or just say yes so that we know most of you are back. Great, 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 great. So now, let me just set the context first for this session, which is very, very critical. So first and foremost, it's going to be really, really exhaustive, right? So typically, I tried to simulate the same things personally, and it took me 3.5 hours to complete all the work. And we have 2.5 hours, right? So I'm hoping some of you will be able to complete it. But if there is any work that we are left with at the end of the session, then you will do the remaining part throughout the session, right? And so that's the first critical part. Secondly, this is a critical part that there's a bit of a luck factor in this. So what we'll do is that we'll start with buying a domain name. Then we'll actually create an account on Amazon and create our server there. Now there is a bit of a luck factor. In some of the cases, what Amazon do is that if they find anything fishy, right, they will put the account under review for 24 hours. Then for at least few hours, they would do it in 3 to 4 hours, but at least few hours you'll not be able to proceed further. Which means that if you get stuck, then your workshop will stop there. Then you can be in the workshop or you can move out, but you have to do the remaining step later, right, within this week. So and it might happen with some of you. To avoid that, I was trying to figure out in the week what can be done is make sure that you provide the details correctly in the first go, and they have an option to provide the PAN card details also. Just make sure that you provide that also. So chances are that you will not get stuck. But if by any chance you get stuck, then you'll not be able to proceed with the remaining steps. So there's a bit of a luck factor. And third critical part is very soon I'm going to stop. I'll be here to respond to your queries, and you are the one who would do the work. So it's a very relaxing kind of a thing for me, and a lot of exhaustive kind of a stuff for you. And there is one small. This is the second time we're trying it out. So what we have done is for most of the steps we have created videos, right? So one problem that would come in is that you will be watching those videos to understand what is to be done, and at simultaneously I'll also be responding to some of the questions. So so there's a bit of a logistics issue here. So we are trying to convert all those videos into a textual formatted instructions, but right now for a lot of stuff there are videos there, all of them are not converted into actual format. So you have to manage it somehow. And I know you'll be able to manage that. Let me just quickly show you the way the course is and the way it would do. So once you log in into your screen, so don't go there right now. Somil, I'll just respond to that question also, just a minute. There is this course which is build your blog in 2.5 hours. It has 3 lessons. Lesson 1, which is a setup part. If you don't know B of blogging, don't worry. We'll do all of those stuff here today. Then lesson 2 has 6 topics. So the 9 topic is about taking a domain name, then taking a website hosting, installing WordPress there, and then linking it. So with AWS, one of the benefit is that all of our participants currently are getting $5,000 of AWS credit for free. And that's the reason AWS is one of the most reliable. We have tried number of ones. While the initial setup is very tedious, so if you don't follow the initial instruction properly, you get into technical hassles. But if you follow it correctly, then it becomes very easy. And on an ongoing basis, it's very easy to manage. That's the reason we have stick to AWS. If any one of you wants to move to some other provider, right? So that's up to you, but I'm not aware of them. So technical part you'll have to deal with on your own, right? In that case, till about step 1 to step 5, you will have to manage on your own. I'll not be able to give you instructions on it. Somil, that's the answer to your question. Rest of the step will be the same. So there's a step 1 to step 9 that we will complete. If you are unlucky, you will get stuck in step 2. Then you will not be able to proceed further, right? And I sincerely hope that today, of all the people who are here, none of them actually end up being unlucky. But if you're unlucky, nothing can be done, and you'll have to sort of just wait for a few hours and then restart the process. So we can't do it together in that case. um, so that's one. Secondly, so that's like an initial setup part. In part 2 of the setup, you will install all the relevant plugins like Google Search Console, Google Analytics, Discuss, Authorbox, and Social Share plugin. So all these 5 plugins you will install in step 2. And in step 3, we are going to write the first compelling blog post, right? So there is a 2-part setup, and then there is a blog writing stuff. Now, to start with, if you don't know what to blog on, right? So pick up a topic that you're passionate about. Like it could be politics, it could be games, it could be health, it could be some particular food item, it could be as specific as nail paints. So something that you want to talk about, you want to sort of share content on that, something that you can actually publicly share that you're a blogger on that, and you want to share more on this. So the whole purpose is that you will create an identity, and then you will use this course to promote that identity, right? And how to finalize. So that's the first part. You would finalize the topic to blog on. All of you will have to buy a domain name. It is mandatory, and nobody else can buy it for you. So that's the investment that you will have to do. You can go to GoDaddy and buy it. We'll do it right now. And so the typically, if you're very very serious about blogging, take the .com blog name. If you're very very serious of converting that to your business at some point in future, take the .com one. It's usually better, more acceptable. But the cheaper ones are .co, .in, or other extensions that are there, .info, right? So those are the cheaper ones. If you're not so sure, you can take those domains. So domain name, no one can else buy for you. So you'll have to do it, like that's an asset you're building for yourself. So you'll have to buy it on your own. So that's an investment part that is needed. In this course, the overall investment that will be needed from your end is, one, you would buy a domain name that would cost anywhere between 500 to 1000 rupees for a year, right? For AWS, there is no investment needed because of our association. AWS, in any case, is free for a year for the kind of server we'll give you. And on top of that, you will get $500 of credit. So that would make it free for a few years for now, right? So that's two. And so that's like, so the one investment is 500 on the domain name. And then in your later on sessions, you would create some ads on uh, Google, on Google Display, on Facebook. So you need close to 1,500 there as well. So in total, you would have to spend about 200 odd, 2,000 odd rupees on doing various kinds of promotion for the blog that you're creating. And typically, I would hope right now there are 13 of you in the session. So all of you will create a blog. Even if one of the blog will remains after 1 year, right, and it is growing, that's like a commendable thing. There's the success ratios blog is not so high. People give up. It needs a lot of passion, perseverance, patience. But there are like, and if one of you actually become a very successful blogger in your domain, that's an opportunity. So that's the kind of that's where it might end up. And after this course, some of you might give it up, and that is also fine. So it's entirely up to you how you want to take it up. Now, to streamline this process, what we have done is I'll just speak for another few minutes and then I'll leave it to you. You need a credit card and debit card. So that's mandatory for creating an account on Amazon, and you'll have to spend 600 to 1,000 rupees to buy the domain name. Now, all of you should go to this link and um, don't go there right now. Let me just share with you what would happen once you go there. Once you go there, you'll be asked this question, your name. So we'll work together. So we'll keep tracking each other, right? What stage who are at, right? So you type in your name. If you are not creating a blog, you can say no, you already have a blog. So you don't need to say yes. So in that case, I would assume you're not participating in this workshop. Then what is your existing level in terms of creating blog posts like you or WordPress blog of in terms of understanding? Have you ever created it in the past? So at a scale of 1 to 5, so I like we will know that who it at what stage. And then since this course was allotted to you earlier, some of you might have already started. So you might be at lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3. So you can let me know that where you are, and then provide us that detail. Sanjeev, if you have a domain, right? So what you can do is right now create a blog. So you can ignore the first part, which is getting a domain, right? Then you have to link that blog to the domain. So for example, I'll share with you about Digital Vidya. Like Digital Vidya, this is a website. We have a website. We have a domain, and we it's a running website. But there is a blog also. In fact, Digital Vidya fundamentally is a blog. On top of blog, we have created some pages. So if your website is based on WordPress, Sanjeev, that means you already have a WordPress blog, right? So then you can use that. If your website is not based on WordPress, then what you can do is you can create a blog dot whatever your domain name is, blog dot that, and then you can actually link it and create the blog, right? So that's up to you. Great. So you're asking me to move on. Great. So let me just go back. And like if you don't want to experiment with your website and you want to use a blog separately for experimentation, you can do that also. So right now it's entirely up to you. If you don't want to take a domain, just ignore the first step and then move to the next stage. Now all of you should go to this link that I shared with you and provide details. I'm just waiting for all of you to complete that and then we will move on. Great. So I've got link information from 4 of you. There are 14 of us in the session. Everybody, please complete it fast and then we will move on. So, Rishabh, Ashwardhan, Sonam, Karthik, Akshay, Divya, Vishwani, Kriti. So we've got information from 9 of you. Rest of you, please complete it fast so that we can move on. We have to be very, very quick. So it's a 3 to 4 hour work that we are planning to do it in 2.5 hours, little more now, exactly 2.5 hours. So 10 of you. What about the rest? 11, Himanshu got it. Who is remaining? Please do it fast. And just sort of let you know, this whole workshop is going to go. Okay, Dipanshu just join in. So here is the link. Just go to this link and provide the details. Everybody will be on their own pace. Somebody would be at lesson 3, somebody would at lesson 2. So there's like it's not that we're going to do it together since you have to doing it separately. And I will be here to respond to your queries. So I'll just sort of stop sharing my screen. I'll be here, and then any question you have, just ask it in the chat section or unmute yourself, ask your question, I'll reply. And you would keep on working ongoingly. So it's a very, very exhaustive. It would take a good amount of time for us to complete, right? Great. So we have got supposed to get 14 inputs. So let me see how many of them are with us. Got 12. Dipanshu, I'm assuming that you're filling it up. Okay, Dipanshu is there, 13. One is remaining. There's one person who hasn't filled it up. Or is there anybody who's launched logged in from two places? No. So it seems it's Gabriel. Gabriel, you haven't filled it up. Can you please do that fast? Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm just posting the details here, right? So here we are. In terms of um, the level, Dipanshu, good to have you. You know block to some level, and Vishwani, you don't know to some level. Rest of you, you're at level one, right? And then most of you haven't started, and Dipanshu, you've reached to the level two. That's great. So you have to really support me on this. So what you need to do is you will now simultaneously just I'll just share this link with all of you. This link should be there. Let me just make sure that it is. Just let me create a shareable link for everybody. Yeah, great. So here is the link for all of you. All of you should open this link now, right? And keep that as in one of the tab option in the browser. And what would happen is that whenever you will complete any step, like for example, Dipanshu, if you have already done step one, you will mention done here. And then you will move to the next step, you will mention done here, right? Then you will move to the next step and then you will mention done here, right? So like that, we will be able to track who is at what stage. So all of us are working together. So this is our common dashboard. Who is at what stage right now. So lesson one has 9 steps, lesson two, 6 step, lesson three, 3 step. I'm hoping that at least 2, 3 of us are able to reach to step three, right? But if you're able to complete even lesson one or mid of lesson two, that's fine. Step one and step two is going to take time, so it's okay. So initially it's going to take some time, and then things will start to move very fast. Wherever, for whatever point you're getting stuck, just ask me question, and I'm here to reply back, right? So this is sort of an open assignment structure that we are trying to build. For the very first time we are trying it out. This is something that would not happen every week, but if it works we'll try to incorporate in all the courses, right? So now all of you, what you need to do is I've given you all the information. You have to go to your course, go to step one, read the instructions, complete it, move to step two. So while doing that, just keep updating us that where you are, and whenever you are getting stuck, I'm here to help you. So go. Be very, very careful about step two. I hope today nobody's going to get stuck. Hey, Gabriel, your data detail is also here now. Sanjeev, you can just unmute yourself. We can have a conversation on this. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
You're taking AWS server, right? Or you want it
Yeah, we have purchased the website from Big Rock.
Okay, and so in the step two, AWS has
Uh-huh.
a, sorry, you're able to understand me? Hello, Sanjeev?
Get the web hosting and install WordPress.
Yeah, the first thing
Correct.
is install WordPress. So when you are at the step two will guide you on how to take Amazon server, and then you have to go to Amazon Marketplace, and there is a self-install plugin available with Amazon. Just take 2 minutes to install WordPress on that server. So those all those tips are
Can we do in this way that
yeah,
can I purchase a domain for my blog?
yes, you can do that. But here is the case.
Yeah.
Since you already have a domain name, right?
Yeah.
And I would not advise you to take a separate domain unless you want to blog on completely different topic. Otherwise, you will have two brand
No,
names.
no, no, no. Yeah.
Right?
We just want to create a blog.
Yeah. So typically, what you should do is, what you can do is, suppose you have a domain name. What's the domain name, by the way?
Letusgrowindia.com.
Let us cruise.
I'll type it. Letusgrowindia.com. Letusgrowindia.com.
Got it. So what you can do is and from where have you purchased this domain name? Which provider?
From Big Rock.
From BrickRock. So when you go in the settings of this particular domain name, there would be an option to add a subdomain name. Right? So what you can do is you can create blog.letusgrowindia.com, right? And you can link blog.letusgrowindia.com to the server that you're buying it from Amazon. So that's one
So,
option.
okay, blog that I can purchase from Amazon. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, so the blog, you can host it on Amazon and you can link it to blog.letusgrowindia.com.
Okay, I can do that. But should I have to go to the Amazon website now because
Yeah.
that link I don't have?
So what you need to do is, in that case, you have to go to step two. So first you will create an account on aws.amazon.com, right? And you would follow
You're
all
not
the,
audible. Hello.
sorry, am I audible?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can hear you now.
Okay. I'm saying that you have to go to step two, and what you see on my screen, this is that step. You will have to create an account on AWS, and then keep following these guidelines, whatever it is suggesting. And in the end, it would actually help you to install WordPress also. This particular step itself, right? And you would have a WordPress hosted blog ready with you. Only thing would be that right now it will not be linked to your domain name, right? That is something that you do in the third step. When you're there on the third step, which is the fourth step, right? So fourth step will be different for you compared to other
Connecting it.
ones. Sorry.
So my first step should be to I have to go to the Amazon thing
Yeah.
and buy the domain called blog.amazon. Letusgrowindia.com. That's
No.
what you're saying.
No. I'm saying your first step is to create. So there are two things. The domain name is separate, and where you have hosted the domain name, the server is separate. So on Amazon, you are not buying domain name. On Amazon, you're creating server space. Right? So what you need
Okay.
to do is
Okay.
you need to ignore step one right now because you don't need to buy a domain name. Domain name is already there with you.
Yes.
Adding a subdomain is free,
Yes.
right? So first step, ignore. Move to step two, and when it comes to step four, then you have to go to Big Rock, and whatever changes it is suggesting in step four, you have to actually do it in Big Rock, right? So start with
You're
step,
talking about step 2.
yeah, start with
You're
step
talking
two
about
now.
step 2.
Yeah.
Can you guide me which website I should go? AWS, what website link is that?
Yeah. So when you go to step
I'm not
two,
sure.
it is, yeah, it would actually guide you. The website you should go to is aws.amazon.com. Right. So just open up step two and it will tell you which website to go to. Like here it is written, visit aws.amazon.com.
No, because whenever I'm pressing step two, it is refreshing it, and again I'm coming out. Again, the same page is coming. Where Digital Vidya build your blog 2.5 years.
Okay. So
That's what
that's
is
the
happening.
problem. Got it. So, uh, can I have your, your login details are the same, right? Your email ID and password?
Yeah, admin at the rate letusgrowindia.com. That's my email ID.
Just a minute. I'll just log off from my account and I'll try to see what exactly is the problem. So Rishabh, just hold on for this question for a while. Let me just resolve it for you right now. Great. So can you just let me know the email ID once again?
Admin, ADMIN.
Admin
I'll
at
type it. ADMIN.
let us go
Let
India.com.
us grow.
Okay, so the problem is that the course is not being given to you. Give me a minute. I'll just
Yeah.
correct that. That is what I suggested everybody to check initially. Let me just add it in your account. Sanjeev, go there now. This problem will not come. So the course is now allotted to you.
Yeah, now I don't have the problem. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Oh,
Yeah, now something can go.
you should be seeing that. Sanjeev, you can mute yourself.
I'll do that. Thank you.
Just a question. Can I use my current website domain name for this process? Yes, you can do that, Rishabh. What I'm saying is that since on the same domain name your website has been linked, so what you can do is you can create a subdomain on your website and link it to that. So in that case, if you want to do that, then you don't need to start with step one, start with step two. That is what I was advising Sanjeev also. So in that case, don't buy the domain name, just move to the step two. So let me just log out and log in. Great. So four of you have done step one. Aman, can you please update that also? Aman, where? Oh, it seems that. Let me just. Aman, you should go to this link and one of to start with, just mention. I'll just mention Aman Kumar here. Looks like you were not there earlier, and just mention what is your level of understanding of blog, which state you're in, and you can just mention yes here since you've already started. So that's how I'm feeling. So if you're at step 6 and if you've completed step 5, just mention done over here in all of it, right? And then start with step 6. So rest of, like, you're actually leading right now. So let's see. If you face any problem, let me know.
So, hello,
Yeah, Partha. Manshu, any question?
sir, I can't understand what is step one and how to get a domain name.
How to?
Get a domain name.
Yeah, so for domain name, what you need to do is, so you've decided on what topic to blog on?
Sorry, sir.
Have you decided on what topic you want to blog on?
Uh, I, actually, I have a WordPress account and I have created two blogs over there.
So you have a WordPress.com account, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
So the .com, so there are two kind of blogs on WordPress. One is you create a free blog on .com. One is that you create
Yes,
a
sir.
self-hosted blog on WordPress. So when you create a WordPress.com blog, that is very restrictive. There are a lot of things that you can't do as an administrator.
Yes,
So that is the reason what I'm saying is that let's create a blog on a different website. Now, what you would do is that
yes,
uh, of the two blogs that you have created, right? Uh,
yes, sir.
uh, uh, you can pick one of these blogs that you would be using throughout the course and you'll be promoting it. Right? You can pick any one,
Okay,
right? And
okay,
based on the blog that you're picking up, buy a domain
mm,
name from GoDaddy, right? That's
okay,
the step one that you would do. Later on, what you would do is that you would move on to step two and complete all these steps, complete lesson one, lesson two. When you reach to lesson three,
mm,
then rather than creating a new blog
mm,
post, you will uh, import all the content from the existing blog so that all the content is now there in the new blog, right? But that will happen later. For this point of time, what you should do is buy a domain name, pick up one topic, one area that you'll be blogging on, right? And then
okay,
based on that, buy a domain name from GoDaddy, and then buy a
okay.
server, take a server from Amazon, and start completing all these steps. That's what you should do right now.
Okay, sir. Thank
Yeah, and while buying the domain name, as Divya is also suggesting, don't pick up any other option. You don't need to buy email account. Do not pick up domain privacy. These are all unnecessarily value-added services. You don't need them right now. That's about okay. You're doing some secret work. You don't want anyone to see who owns up that domain. So don't buy up those kind of services. Just keep it simple. You're not sure whether you're going to be blogging after the course or not. Right. So it has been like just take the minimal purchase and continue with it, right? So if you want to take a cheaper option, as I suggested, .co.in domains will be cheaper. You can use .us also. That's entirely up to you which extension you want to take. There are very very creative options that are there. So it really doesn't matter much. If you're really really serious, you want to grow it as a commercial organization at some point, then take the .com. Make some good investment. Keep working. Right now, Aman is way ahead. He's already done six. Step one and step two really takes a lot of time, so it's perfectly okay. Just read stuff carefully, buying a domain name and carefully picking up servers, so that's okay. And no need to rush, no need to hurry, and then things will become very very simple. I created AWS account, created the basic plan. It's asking to wait for a few minutes. Yes, that's okay, Akash. So, uh, have you done the phone verification and everything? And then what would happen is that got confirmation, got it. So when you go to services and AWS, right, then this screen should come up. That's opening at my end. After you wait for some time, you will get this screen, and if you can get this screen, that means now you are lucky, things are fine, you move on. Right now you would have zero running instance, zero volume, zero key pair, everything would be zero, right? But just reaching out to this stage means that the unlucky part is over. Now it's about completing all the steps. So you'll get it in a short while. Service EC2. If you get a message that you are under review and will contact you back after 24 hours, that means there's a problem. Right? If you don't get that message, then just wait for a few minutes and things will be fine. Sure, a lot of you would be at this stage now. Amazon do not accept RuPay payment card. Is there any other? So you have the normal debit or credit card. If Amazon is not accepting RuPay, um, try to get it from somebody. If you can get it from some family members, because you'll just be deducted 2 rupees and that'll be sort of credited back within 2 days. And yeah, you should sign into console now. And once sign into console, go to service EC2. But yeah, if like so, you need to, without debit card or credit card, Sanjeev, you'll not be able to create an account there, and then will not be able to proceed. So if you don't have, try to take it from someone that's needed. Got it. Somil, I'm not aware. It seems what Sanjeev has said that it is not accepting RuPay cards. I think normal credit cards and debit cards do get accepted, including Amex, but RuPay I'm also not aware. So just try it out once. And if it asks for the PAN card number, do provide that. It increase the chance of approval. So if it goes for manual approval process, then have to wait for 2-3 hours, but hopefully it will not. Great. So Sarthak, you are the first one completing step 2 after Aman. Aman has actually done it earlier. Great, everybody. Keep moving on. Yes, it asks for create a new key pair in the drop down. And what the key pair, let me tell you what exactly key pair is. Key pair is that it will just download a .pem file on your machine. And it is not needed right now, but it will be needed for later references. Suppose you want to shift your blog, right? So you need to extract data from the database. So you would need .pem file for that, right? So what you need to do is you need to just create a new key pair. It will create a node .pem file and download it on your machine and just save it somewhere for yours. Like that's the safety thing, that for secure logging in and for all later problems that will be resolved once you have that file with you. So just create one key pair that is guided, and just that's it. That's what you have to do. And at the next step, what you need to do is you need to launch the new instance. So you would go in, like you will have the 0 running instance. Running instance is where your server will be hosted. So just press the launch instance and follow the guidelines that are mentioned on that page. So when I'm supposed to create the subdomain and link it to this new blog that you're creating. So that is something that will happen in fourth step. So typically, most of the other users have bought a new domain name. So they would link their new domain name. They would add an A address, um, and the guidelines are there when you would go through the video in the step 4. That's the fourth step, right? And if you have a sub, you're linking your subdomain. The process is same. You have to go to the provider from where you purchase the domain, and then just create a subdomain there and link it to this IP address. Okay, Sonam, you're facing an issue. So you're saying that I'm facing issue while submitting response to AWS call. I'm receiving a call, but it is not accepting the code I have revived on my system. There's something I can't do anything about. So probably try to do it again. It should receive. Okay, got it. Okay, it should. I mean, probably redo the whole thing once again. If that's an issue, try to redo that. But this problem we haven't faced in the past. So I'm assuming there'll be some minor issue. So Sarthak, you have done step 3 also. Great. Move on to step 4. Aman, you're still at step 7. Let's move on. Great. So Rishabh, you're not doing step 1 and you're directly doing step 2, right? And possibly that's true with Sanjeev also. So you can just mention there not doing, so that we know. Yeah, it's mentioned in step 1, not doing. Great, Akesh. So you have reached to that stage. That's great. So now move on. This is the page that I was saying, that if this page is getting displayed, done. Move on. Now create instance, follow the instructions, and just continue. Launch the WordPress page. Those of you who are now at step 4, 5, yeah, launch instance. That's the page. That's the step you are in. So press the launch instance. Then it will ask you to go to the marketplace, Amazon Marketplace, search for WordPress, search for WordPress, right? And then it will show you these two options. Pick up the first option, Bitnami certified by this. Yeah, Harshvardhan, so looks like you are the unlucky one. What you should do is that make just validate all these options, right? And then in the contact support page, just fill up the form that everything is correct. Please look into this. It will take couple of hours before it is activated again. Till that time, you're stuck at step two, right? So hopefully it should happen during the course, during our session itself. They commit 24 hours, but they do it early. Just make sure that you fill up that form, the contact support, and all the four things that you're suggesting, just check it again, right? But yes, you can't proceed further for now. So just wait for another. Which one should the first one? Akash, you can just check out that's already there in the instructions which option you have to select, right? So just follow that. If you follow me, you might miss out certain things in between, so that's a better way to do it. So Harshvardhan, just wait for a few minutes. It looks like that they might do it early also. It's a little different kind of a message, and probably very soon you will be able to get started with it. So just check it in another 5 to 10 minutes, and things will be fine. And if they're still not fine, then just do the contact support. Great. So half an hour is over. That's perfectly fine. You've taken the domain. Lot of you working on the second step. That's where most of the time will go, and then things will be fairly easy. Sarthak, I'm sorry, this is a problem you'll have to manage. So that's the reason we used to have videos for everything, and now we are creating the textual format for everyone. But for now, I'll try to speak as less as possible, but you'll have to manage with this. There is no way you can mute the one option, right? Otherwise, both will be muted. So I'll try to speak as less as possible. Vishwani, try it again. Just try the process again. There would be an option to redo it. Selecting the theme from the blog is the easiest as well as most confusing. So too many beautiful themes right now. So Aman, for now, the one that video suggests, um, shaped something. That's the what's the video select. Just select that one. Right. That's overall. It's a good. It's responsive, and later on you can change it also. But like if you already want to play around with it, you're already ahead, so you can just play around for a few more themes and decide. At later stage, once you become really serious, you will eventually buy one as well, a good theme. But right now, just take a free theme, the best that suits the kind of blog post you would be doing. Great, Sarthak. Moved on to step five now. So once you're through with step two, things will move fast. The way you're saying you're not able to create an account on AWS, what is the exact problem you're facing? Is there any way I can help? I mean, is this something you missed out? You want to try it with a different email ID? Or is a credit card issue? What's the exact issue that you're facing? Not able to verify by call. And card issue. The way I just try it again, that's where uh, nothing that I can do. Try it probably with different phone if that works. This is the only part that is unpredictable. It's a little confusing. Somehow just try to walk through that, and once you have the blog ready, we'll spend a lot of time in customization and things will be very easy. But Sanjeev, if you don't complete step two, you will not be able to proceed further, right? So you have to do it in any way. So If you can take it from someone, right? You have to take card from someone, and without that, you will not be able to do anything. Yeah, that's sure. That's okay. If you that's perfectly fine. You want to do it later, you can do that. But the opportunity, since all of us are doing it together, so the problem that you will face in between, we'll be able to resolve it very fast. But yeah, if you have no option, then that's okay. The, otherwise, the instructions are detailed enough. Instance check says running, and status check says that's unable to describe this instance status. So that means, Akash, it takes some time, take few minutes. So once it's running, so when, like, if you look at in my, just go to um, C2, and I have one running instance. So it says running, and status check is 2 out of 2 check. So if status check is not checked completely, it'll take just few minutes and things will be ready. So in any case, you can move on, because once you click on the instance, you will be able to see the IP address and rest of the stuff you can do. And by that time, this thing is happening. Right. So should I wait for the domain hosting integration or move on to step 5? You can move on to step 5 also. Only thing is that if the domain hosting integration actually happens in minutes, within 2 minutes you'll be able to see that with your domain name the blog is now accessible, right? But if it is taking longer, that's perfectly fine. Right now you can access your domain name with the IP address, the public IP address that is mentioned here, and very soon it will be shifted to your domain name. You have just added an entry in your existing DNS provider, so that takes minutes to reflect globally. It doesn't take too much time. So just wait for a few minutes and it will be done. Sarthak. Um, okay, so Sanjeev is stuck and Divya is stuck right now. And Harshvardhan, have you moved on, or is it still showing 24 hours? Oh, great. So you've moved on. Great, great, great. So right now nobody's stuck as such with Amazon issue. Great. Aman has moved on to step 8. Welcome. You will be the first one completing lesson 1. Yes, Akash. Finally. Step 2 done. Now move fast. For the verification, it is asking for extension, which I entered it by repeating the same thing. Dipanshu, can you please update it in this sheet also, so that we know that you have moved to that stage? Here is a link of the sheet. Just update all the steps you have completed. So Divya, just see if I can be of any help there. Yes, Divya, of course you can. Let me just open up that page also. The way you can call. So I'm assuming that here you're getting stuck, right? I'm not able to understand where does this extension comes up. So one, you should be able to validate the payment part. If that is done, then validate the phone part. So within phone part, the call comes, but you enter this number and that doesn't work, right? We've been doing it for so many. This problem hasn't happened so far. So is it something to do with the phone number? The way you can just unmute yourself, we can have a conversation. Usually this process is simple. After that it says call me now. So usually you are supposed to receive a call. Yeah, you receive a call and then it'll ask you to type in the number, and then you type in a number and suddenly this thing would say it's validated. So just pick up the call and type in the number. Akash, that maybe the instance is still not on, so it will take few minutes. Just check the instance, is it running or is it not running? So that means what I personally see is that then the input is not going from your phone, Divya. If it is repeating the same thing, that means that it is not. So it may be a phone issue, right? Uh, if you type in a different number and if you have some other phone number over there, so you can just try that also. Yeah, please do that. Instance is running, status check says unable to describe. What you can do is just if you select the instance, right, and press, there's a way to, yeah, actions. Um, there's a way to pause and then restart it. Just press the refresh once and then I'll just figure out a way to instance status. Yes, just stop it once or probably try to reboot it once, right? If it is showing an option of stopping and rebooting, just do that. Don't terminate it. So then you can stop and reboot it and probably if there is anything that is needed. Yes, checked past. Okay, great. So do we need to create a key pair? Yes, you need to. And just create and save it somewhere for later reference. Okay, so Sonam, you said we are unable to create the IP address. Let me just see. You don't need to create the IP address. Let me just type in. So Sonam, my request is just make sure that you're addressing all the audience so that everybody is part of the discussion. Yeah, so your blog is ready, Sonam. So you need to now link it. That's the step 4. Link it to the server that you've picked up. So you should be able to see this. If this screen is coming up, that means you've set up your blog. Step 2 is done, Sonam. Yes, you can buy it net.in also. It won't be a problem. Only thing is that you should have your own domain name. There's a lot of outbound work you would do. It will all go waste if you do not have a domain name. And you can't do it on IP address. That's the reason I'm suggesting all of you to spend some money and commit to that. Right? Akash, I don't know when you write this create what is this. I don't know who I was addressing, but I'm saying that now move to the next stage. That's what I was telling you, since its check is passed. So if you've reached to the stage that with IP address this blog is coming up, that means the hosting is done. Great. So Rishabh has done step 2. Dipanshu is moving on fast. Akash has done. Sarthak has done. 5 of you have completed step 2. And Sonam, you have also done. Unless there is anything missing. You've installed WordPress. See. That's it. Um, Step 2, 22nd point. Just a minute. Let me just address one of you one by one. You are at step 2, 22nd. You have to, what you need to do is, you will just type in any name, like the name of your blog that you're creating, and just uh, download KeyPair. Press download KeyPair and save it somewhere. That's it. Right? And that is all what you need to do. And just press launch instance. And this is what you're saving for later reference. You don't need KPI right now. You'll just download it and keep it somewhere, and then move on with create, with launch instance. Got it, Vishani. I copied the IP address to my clipboard and page. Okay, done. Great. Finally, Akash, you have also moved on. Great. So now a lot of you should be in the final stage of step 2. Yes, Sonam, you're done. Step 3, done. Great. So we have 1.5 hours to go. That's great. In last 1 hour, we have actually done a good progress. So right of you, none of you actually stuck at Amazon. 2 of you, I think Sanjeev, you are the only one who is stuck because of the card issue. Great. Keep making progress. How do I mark step 2 has completed? Just Akash over here. That's okay. You can just it will automatically take. There are some issue in marking it complete right now, since you have changed it from video to text. Right. So just leave it to the step 2, step 3 now. I'm tracking it on this sheet. All of us will ensure that all of us complete all the step within this week. But let's make sure that we make really good progress. If we can have few who can complete all 3 lessons today, that'll be great. Harshvardhan, if you are there, just wanted to check with you, was that 24-hour issue resolved for you, or you're still stuck there? Done step 3. Great. Gabriel, can you just update it in this sheet also so that all of us know where you are? Okay, got resolved. Great. Now at 22. 22 is the same key point. Na? So I think we have to redo on maybe the instructions are not clear. There is nothing to be done in 22. Only thing you have to do is press download key pair and keep it for later reference and just launch reference. That's what you have to do. I'm stuck at Andaman Nicobar and else I would have make sure that got it. Sajeev, not an issue. Only thing is, just wanted to make sure that I'm there to support you when you're doing it. That's okay. Take your time. So, Gabriel, please mention it on this sheet also that you've completed step 1, 2, 3. Next to your name, you can mention step 1, step 2, 3. Done. Is there an option to check the domain name? I mean, what do you mean check the domain name? If you have linked it, just type in domain name in the URL, it should come. If you have not linked in, you want to then first link it and then try it out on the browser. So linking it is like providing the A address in the DNS entry. Dipanshu, moving on to step 3 now. I mean AWS IP address. Akash, I'm not able to understand. What do you want to check? You can unmute yourself, ask. So you can type in just you want to see where is your IP address. That's what you want. So you can just press on the instance and you will be able to see here is your IP address, public IP address. That's what. Okay. So just press on instance and there you would find IPv4 public IP. That's the IP address. I am unable to launch and it's coming that your account is unrecognized. So have you done all the verification, Harshvardhan? Is the phone verification and everything done? And when you come to this particular screen, EWS services / EWS, are you able to see this screen clearly that zero instance running? Is that option coming up? Zero instance running. Zero running instance. Is that option coming in? Harshvardhan, if you want, I can give you screen control. You can show me what exactly problem you're facing and then I'll possibly be able to resolve it. Otherwise just try to relaunch the instance if you're getting this particular screen. And just relaunch the instance, it'll take just 2 minutes and your instance will be there. It should not come as account is not recognized. Okay, I'm giving you screen control, Harshvardhan. You can just share your screen now. You're the presenter. Yeah, I can see your screen now. So when you're coming over there, yeah, launch instance, go to launch instance. Right, go to AWS Marketplace. Right now, type in WordPress in the search section. Yes, select the first option. Yes, continue. Pick up T2.micro. Yes, that's fine. That's one you have to do. Review and launch. Yes, you can just press the launch now. You already have created one, right? So just select the same. Okay, it's not coming. So you can, I acknowledge that I have access. Yes. So you already have created, you have saved it somewhere, I'm assuming, right? Yeah. So then press the launch instance. The account is currently blocked. It is not recognized at valid account. Yeah. Can you go to services once? On the top, go to services. Yeah. Go to EC2. I think there is some problem. Otherwise, it should not have happened. So just you have to just redo it and take the screenshot of that page and mail it to me. I'll have to contact Amazon, but they would possibly reply back in a day, and then I'll get back to you. This seems to be they haven't validated your account properly. Otherwise, it seems everything is fine. On is there anything that has come on email verification? Do check that also, that you have to validate the email ID or something, or yeah, the screenshot of the error. That is what you need to mail it to me at kapil@digitalvidya.com, and I'll follow up with them and just check if there is some validation that is needed that you have not done, or in terms of the account, the credit card information, things are fine. Do check that also.
So I've just unmuted my this thing.
Yeah.
I've just checked it. I actually have got a call from there for that credit card error. So that was sorted now. So the only after that when I started launching, this error is coming. So other email I haven't got anything as such of that way.
So I think probably they have not. The system is would update it in some time since you got the error once. So right now,
Mm-hmm.
system is like not fully updated that it is correct now. Probably somewhere in the
Okay.
billing information also you can check if there is some error getting reflected. You can correct that. Otherwise, with few hours of time, it should correct automatically. But if it doesn't happen, then let me know. I'll get in touch with our contact person to get it resolved.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay.
So shall I stop the screen sharing?
Yeah, you can stop it now. See if my server is active. Okay. So one of us is stopped for the time being. Where is everybody? Good. So in next 1 hour 20 minutes, those of you who have actually completed step 2 or are on step 2 and you're not stuck, like just aim to complete lesson 1. Aman, which stage you are in? You started with step 6 completed and you're on step 7. I hope you're updating. Great. Gabriel, you moved to step 6. Great. Keep the intensity on. Let's be intentional. Let's try to see what stage we will end up. Okay, got it, Aman. Krati, where are you? You haven't mentioned done in step 1 also now. So is there any problem you're facing? Let me know. And Himanshu, I hope you're purchasing domain name. If you are not purchasing domain name, start with step 2. Let's complete all other step. You'll not be able to do step 1 and 4, but on IP address, you will be able to create the whole blog and you can link it later. While I would advise you to start with it, that's where the commitment from your side will also come in making it successful. And you would need it in promotion, so you'll not be able to do a lot of exercises once the blog is not ready. Sonam, I do not know the settings in BligRock. Can you just go over there and search for DNS settings? It would be there somewhere. I do not have an account on BigRock, so I don't know exactly where you would find it. But just Google it around, or like within BigRock, it should be fairly simple. Just click on the domain name, and somewhere there will be a DNS setting. You have to provide the A address in the DNS. So where are the DNS entering for the domain name? You'll have to find it on your own in BigRock. you're not finding it, try it for 5 minutes. If you're not able to find it, just move on with step 5, and you can write it to BigRock and they would guide you, purchase domain name from them in any way. So, so rest of the step is not dependent on you having a domain name. So if you're not able to link it, just move to the step 5. But just try it for 5 minutes, you'll be able to figure out something. Yes, Sanjeev, BigRock is, oh, sorry, the WordPress is the most used platform for creating blogs and website. In fact, globally, most of the websites are WordPress based, including if you look at Digital Vidya, that's also WordPress based. You can call it CMS or a platform also. And uh, for it makes things very easy. You can use other platforms also, but since there's enough support that is available on WordPress, including all the plugins, so that's the reason WordPress is recommended. Yes, Divya, finally something has worked. We have 1 hour 9 minutes to go. Those of you who have moved from step 2 onwards, you should at least complete lesson 1. We should aim for that. Sawmill Khare, if you are stuck anywhere, let me know. Also, not done completed step 1. I don't know why exactly. Yes, Sarthak. Great. Good, Divya. Now you're moving with velocity. Great. Gabriel, Vishwini. So, what is the credit to receive? So, Amazon gives $500 of credit to all Digital Vidya's participants. You just need to fill up that form, make sure you add that organizational credit, and then they would review it. And then there is a 5-6 day process. They send a list to us, we approve it, and then the amount will be credited in your account. So just complete that step, and you would get additional $500 in your account. Okay, but it would take about a week's to 10 days time. That's their approval process standard. Somil, good to see you moved on with step 2. Great. So, not sure whether Divya, Tare, and Krati is, but rest of you have more or less have an idea. Sanjeev, if you're getting bored, you can move on. But if you can stay, that'll be better. Okay, got it. Great, Sarthak. 2 more steps to go and then lesson 1 will be done. Let's keep working. I'm just taking 2 minutes break. Great, I'm back. If any support needed. Yes, step 5 started. We are good. So last 1 hour to go. Let's work more intensively. Let's try to complete lesson till lesson 2 for sure. We have 1 hour, we can do that. Great, Aman. Panshu, first one, be completing lesson 2. Last step of lesson 2. Great. I think I was on mute. So, Ashwardhan, good, glad to know that. Please move on. And I just wanted to know what was the how you got it resolved. Does that happen on its own, or you did something? So if you could let me know, that will help other participants also. Vishwani, good, moving with velocity. Ah, okay. I missed that also in the screenshot. I should have told you. Got it. Great. So, Gabriel, Aman, Dipanshu, three of you have completed step one. Sorry, yeah, the lesson one. Move to the lesson two now. Great, Sarthak. Last step to go to complete lesson one. Dipanshu, all hopes on you to complete all three lessons. Just two more steps to go. 45 minutes, but do it perfectly. Great, Harshvardhan. Move to step 4 now. Good. Yes, Divya. 3 more steps to go. We'll be together for another 40 minutes. Great. Sarthak also completed lesson 1. So 4 completed lesson 1 so far. Lesson 2 is linking all the important plugins, starting with Search Console. So start with that, Sarthak, now. Great, Aman. Move on. Yes, Akash, finally the last step of lesson 1. Good, Rishabh. We've suddenly started moving very fast. Or is it that you're updating the status now? Good. Move on. Great. So Akash also completed lesson one. 5 completed lesson one so far out of 15 of us. No, Akash. Next half an hour, let's continue with it. Let's not take a break. Let's see how many steps you can complete in lesson two. Great, Divya. 2 more steps to do. Half an hour remaining. last 30 minutes to go, and we'll keep it 25. We'll keep 5 minutes for closure. So let's last 25 minutes to go. Great, Gabriel. Move on to the next step now. Sanjeev, any issue? Are you facing any issue with AWS? Great, Sarthak. One. Sawmill. Good. Last 15 minutes to go, guys. Hmm. Okay, Sanjeev. It's been a little unlucky for you today, but I hope you'll be able to manage it in the evening. No, no problem. We'll very soon create a support structure, so that's not an issue. Great, so we'll come to step 8 now.
Kapil, I had a question, Sanjeev here,
Yes, Sanjeev.
regarding the blog name. Once I create, because that time you'll be not there. So blog name, can I keep it?
So what do you
So
mean by
how should
blog?
I name? Now, how should I name the blog? It should be like URL only or something. I should keep it like dot blog or something.
No, no. So typically, one, it's about naming. So one of the main thing is that the domain name should be available, and you would be like keeping it as a subdomain, right?
Yeah, it will be just linked with my website.
Like
That's what it is. It will be a blog for my website.
yeah.
I'll be having a link of that in my website. That's what it
So
is.
in that case, I think just blog dot letsgrowindia.com should be fine because
Okay,
let's
blog dot.
yeah, blog dot letsgrowindia.com because the brand name is Let's Grow India.
So I
Create a separate brand name for
yeah,
blog.
let us grow India. Yes.
Yeah. Let us grow India.
Yeah. So blog dot let us grow India. I have to purchase that domain, or
No.
I can just create a blog and link it with WordPress.
Yes. So when you would go to you purchase it from Big Rock, right?
Yes.
So over there you can actually create unlimited number of subdomains without any additional cost. So like you can do create a dot let's let us grow india.com, b dot it let us grow india.com. Subdomains, there is no restrictions in terms of number of subdomains you can create. So what you can go is you
I
can
can
just go,
create subdomains,
yes,
but that will actually affect the classes, right? Because you are teaching it in Amazon, so not that make any big difference.
that will not make a difference. You are linking it to Amazon, right? But the subdomain will be created in the domain registrar
No,
details.
no, I'm not interested on creating a subdomain. I'm talking about the blog. So if a blog, when I'm working on Amazon, do I have to purchase again a domain for the blog, or
No, no.
that's
Sanjeev,
what
let
I'm
me explain
confused.
it to you once again. Subdomain is the name, right? It's just a name, right? And when somebody type in that URL blog.letusgrowindia.com, it will automatically be redirected to Amazon. Okay, so on Amazon,
Okay.
that's where you would reside all the files, content, and everything will be on Amazon. And but it will be called as blog.letusgrowindia.com. So when you create an account on Amazon, it will give you an IP address, and you have to just pick that IP
Okay.
address and take it to the Big Rock and make an entry over there against a subdomain. So against that name, it will be directed to the Amazon server that you're creating, and that is it.
So my first step should be to create a subdomain in Big Rock first.
That's like you can do later also because like it's the first step when you're actually buying a domain because domain are not available so easily. So you can like when you will come to step 4 of lesson 1, right? That is when you actually in step 2 what you do is you create the server, and right now the server is referred by an IP address. But when you come to step 4, you would make entry in the step 4. You will make entry in the Big Rock, and that time your subdomain will be linked to the server that you would create in the step 2 where you currently stuck.
Okay.
Got it? So I
Got
think
it.
this
Thank you.
follows step 2, step 3, step 4, and things will become clear, and you don't need to buy a subdomain. It, you can just create it in your existing domain registrar. Great. So let's do it for another 5 minutes. Divya, Saumil, Rishabh, if you can reach till step 9 will be great. Vishwani, you have also reached. Great. So we have 6 so far. Sonam, at which stage you're facing this issue? Like on step 8 you're mentioning, right? So step 8 is, what is step 8 about? Let me just check it. So, Sonam, the reason why that would be happening is because, okay, step 8 and step 9. I'll just check, because typically what happens is that if you select a different theme customizations are based on theme. So if you select a different theme, you will not get the same options that you would get in the theme that we are suggesting you. So that's might be some difference in the screenshot over there. But as far as creating pages and adding menu is concerned, that should be same. There might be some differences if you've used a different theme in the menu options, right? But otherwise, it should be same. I'll just open one of the blog background to show it to you. So for example, I'm over here. You can go to pages section and just create new pages. I'll just open up step also. So you have to create 2 pages, about us and contact us, and add it in the top menu item. So this thing should not change actually. This thing, it's same. Just go on pages and create pages, and then in the appearance section. Yeah, so this might be the reason why you're getting a different options over here in the menu part customization. Like here you have to add a menu. That may be because you have selected a different theme. Because there are certain themes that may have support for 5 menus, and you might have support for 1 menu, right? So I don't know which theme you have selected. So if you select the same theme, option should be same. But the whole step is about creating 2 pages and adding it on top. So like if I take an example of just creating a blog for testing purpose last week in following all the instructions. So if you see that here is a menu item that comes up, so it should finally be reflect over here. That's how exactly it should come. So creating page, writing content, it takes time. It's okay. And in second step, the logo part might take some time if you want to create a really perfect logo for yourself. So you can do that using Canvas. Those of you who have not reached to that stage. So all the plugins that you need across various core sessions, Search Console, Google Analytics, and then a little bit of customization using AuthorBox and Discuss, all will be done. Right? So Rishabh, you've also done step 9. Great. Great. So I think let's take last 2 minutes. See if in the middle of something, let's complete that. Um, it would not actually go in the same way, Divya. So I'll come to that. Let's just complete this step. While it would be definitely interesting for you, that I can promise. But this format, actually, we are trying it out, and that's the reason I'm actually taking this class to understand how exactly it works. So not all assignments are done in the same way. Most of the assignments you'll have to do it at home. But yeah, this so we thought that doing work in group in the way that we have done today might be good. So I wanted to doing some experiment around it, and yours is one of the batch. And then if it works, then we'll try to implement it across all the weeks in your sessions also. But right now, assignments you'll have to do at home, and the session would for sure be interesting. There'll be longer duration sessions, not just 1 hour, 3 hour sessions. Okay, great. So, guys, I think it's time we can do. So, what I would request is that this is actually very, very critical that all of you should have a professional blog, and then um, use your entire course and try to apply all the learning in promoting your blog. So try to create it as a success story within 6 months. That's an ultimate objective. And in the process of doing that, you will learn a lot of things. And what you need to do now is in this week, do not wait till Friday. My request would be maximum by tomorrow, Monday morning, your blog should be ready. Complete all the 3 steps, right? Do not wait till the next Saturday date to come. Let's have everybody complete that. So most of you have actually moved on from the Amazon thing, and it's not all about file sort of following the right guidelines, and you will be able to set it up properly. So make sure that I'll keep sort of checking on this file, keep updating this file, and let's just make sure that by Monday we have, like, I'm not sure about 3 of like Divya or Kriti and Himanshu which stage they are in, but rest of you should for sure complete all by Monday morning, right? So do budget 3-4 hours and let's get these things completed. Um, and another request I have is, so this format is something that you're trying for the first time. So, and that's idea is that the hands-on part is so critical, and people used to face a lot of problem doing it at home. So while actually now, while completing this step, if you face any issue, the place to get your queries resolved is within a discussion forum. There is a category which says online presence. So I'll just share this link with all of you. I'll keep following up with all the queries also. So if you face any issue, just post it over here, and I'll have myself or somebody would reply to you immediately. So this would be your support structure for the part that is missing, right? Just come to this place and this section of the discussion forum and get your queries addressed, right? And all of you should complete it. Keep track of the tracking sheet, keep updating the sheet, and let's complete everything by Monday maximum, right? Now, I'm passing on this small link to you. This would be a kind of a feedback or your point of view form. So just help on few questions. So in your opinion, if you think that these kind of workshop, that's the second part, I'm not talking about the foundation session, so that was completed in an hour. So if you like these kind of workshops should be the regular feature, you can select your options accordingly. And if you have any suggestion to make it improve further. So right now we want to sort of make sure that it improves before we actually add it in all the modules. And you can just type in your blog URL. I'll take a look at all of them also. So just complete this form. This is very, very important if all of you can do that right now. So just take some time out of the blogging work you're doing, and you can do it right now. I'll wait for everybody to complete that, and then we will move on. Let's take a minute to do it. Any suggestion you have, which can actually improve this whole format further? Should we do it exactly the same way, or there's something that you think would have made it even interesting? That would just do provide your suggestions. That'll be very helpful. Got input from 3 of you. Everybody, can you please complete this fast? Got it, Akash. Great, guys. So that's it from my side. And thanks a lot for once again for trusting Digital Vidya. I hope we'll be able to do justice. And I wish you all the best for learning digital marketing. Make sure you complete your blog by Monday morning, and keep learning digital marketing anytime, anything that can be done to make it more valuable. Just shoot me an email. Here is the link, Samuel, for the feedback. And do update the tracking sheet, and all of us should take a look at it also. Let's make sure that everybody completes all the 3 lessons by Monday. So that's our target, right? And that's it. That's all. So thanks a lot. The session is now complete. Thank you very much.